Meanwhile, in the case of Donald Trump versus the FBI, the U.S. Court of Appeals, the 11th Circuit, granted a motion by the Department of Justice to expedite its appeal of a lower court order appointing a special master. This is a setback for former President Trump's team, who opposed the request, saying there's no real risk of loss or harm by having a special master. And joining us right now to discuss, please welcome the president of Judicial Watch, Tom Fitton. Tom, we seem to have two very different entities here. The judge in this case has, frankly been pretty strong on Mr. Trump's side. And the special master actually has been the opposite, which may have surprised Mr. Trump since his team nominated him as one of the people they could accept as special master. And the 11th Circuit has slapped down the judge previously. I don't get too caught up in the details, but explain to us what you think is significant about what's going on right now.
Well, I think there are like two different approaches. Is it the old school approach where, hey, it's the Justice Department, so let's all just fall down to the ground and pretend everything they're saying has to be treated as sacrosanct? Or do you take Judge Cannon's approach that says, hey, look, there was a president's home who was raided here, the former president of the United States. It's an unusual circumstance. There are significant constitutional questions about the nature of the documents, and I want someone to review these records in a straightforward way. And, the challenge for President Trump is, as you're highlighting, he's getting a good hearing from Judge Cannon in that regard. But the old school judges, and it includes appointees of his own in the case of the 11th Circuit, in my view, don't really understand the Presidential Records Act and are too deferential to the Justice Department. And, on the other side here, you have the Justice Department desperate to speed this along, in my view, in a political way. But what's the hurry in the sense that they already have these classified records, they have access to them, can investigate the so-called crimes they pretend are associated with them, but they don't want this now the special master to look at anything else. That seems to me a bit desperate in terms of if this raid was on the up and up, and the records that they were able to obtain were lawfully obtained, and there was no problem in terms of the scope of the subpoena and things like that, what's the harm in having a special master look at it? So the Justice Department is kind of, in my view, going too far here, to put it charitably, and I just hope the 11th Circuit puts some brakes to it, because there are some big constitutional issues here that need to be explored in a way that may require more time.
Tom, former President Trump did speak about the investigation while he was giving a speech in Miami the other day. Let's listen to what he said.
The weaponized Department of Justice and the politicized FBI are spending millions and millions of dollars on this continued witch hunt, which started in various forms, all different forms: Russia, 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 impeachment hoax number 1, impeachment hoax number 2, the Mueller report, which ended in no collusion at the end of $48 million and 2.5 years.
Tom, your reaction to his response?
I think he's generally right. And, we're talking about the getting into the weeds about these documents. But look, we had fought for records from Bill Clinton. The Justice Department took the completely opposite position that they're taking now with Trump. So I think his instincts are right in that this is just a continuation of the harassment and abuse from the Justice Department and the FBI. I was shocked by it because I knew it was completely at odds with their prior legal position in the case Judicial Watch had with respect to Bill Clinton. And everything they've done since suggests they've been playing games with the court, playing games with the American people. And remember, the context here is that the left was pushing hard and criticizing Garland, including leaks from the White House, about him being too soft on Trump. Sure enough, a few weeks later or a month or two later, there's a raid of the president's home. It's just incredible to me to pretend that it's anything other than a political hit job.
All right, Tom Fitton, thank you so much.
You're welcome.